Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Book Review Blog. I am your book reviewer, and today we're going to finish the trilogy of the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy with 50 Shades Freed by E.L. James. I apologize, I don't have the copy of the book at the moment. I had to return it to the library, but still, I can do a review on it. It chronicles Christian Grey and Anna Steele, and from the other two books, and of course there's similar characters from the other two books, so I will go ahead and get started. Where we left off with the second book, 50 Shades Darker, Christian had proposed to Anna, and they hadn't married in the second book, and in the third book, they were already married, so she is no longer Anna Steele, she's Anna Grey. And so when the book begins, they are on their honeymoon in kind of the south of France. I believe they take kind of a kind of seaside honeymoon. They start in like London and in England, and then they go kind of south of France, and then to Italy and things like that. So and of course lots of sex, lots of things, but it's way more tame, I guess. There is a little bit of like kinky S&M stuff, but there's not a lot, just because they're not home, and they're not near their like red room of pain, and really the last two books have been quite tamer with that, because Christian is becoming less controlled by that and less attached to it. So, and he has Anna to thank for that. And that's one of the little complaints that I have, is that it's become more tamer, and or tamer, I guess. And but anyway, continuing, they finished their honeymoon, and they've come back, but the kind of security problems that they have been having are still there, that they had with the second book, where Anna's former employer, Jack Hyde, has been making threats towards Anna and Christian. Christian knows about it, and he's keeping it from Anna, but soon Anna finds out, and he reveals more to her about Jack, what he's been doing or what he's been trying to do, not only to the two of them, but to Christian's family. Christian thinks that Jack was responsible for the ambush and sabotage of his helicopter, Charlie Tango, that happened in the second book. And early in the third book, the Christian's family's house is burned, where he thinks it was arson. It's not burned completely, but there was a fire there. And things like that. And so they really concentrate that with the book, and Anna also is starting work again, and she's the main publisher of this publishing company, and so she is working with that and going on with those lines and things like that. And then along with the Jack Hyde issue, Anna finds out that she is pregnant. And she's like, I don't know how to tell Christian, because Christian has been kind of on the ends of, he doesn't want kids, and because of his childhood, what he went through, and so when she eventually tells him, he takes it very badly, and they get into a really heated discussion, and where he's like, I don't, if you, like, where he's thinking, oh, you're going to leave me and I can't handle this, and things like that. So Anna is really stressed about that, and she's at work because of that. And one of the things that, or when she's at work, she gets a phone call from her sister-in-law, Mia, who is just kind of a bubbly person and just has like a really explosive personality, just kind of like really hyper. And she's like, oh dear, I don't really want to deal with Anna's hyperness at the moment. And so, but she answers her anyway, and it isn't Mia, it is Jack Hyde, who informs Anna that he has Mia prisoner or hostage, and demands like $5 million from Anna and Christian. And if when he gets that money, Mia will be set free. And so Anna takes this very seriously, and Jack gives her a window of like 3 hours. And so she's like, what am I going to do? How am I going to get this money? And so, and he's like, don't tell Christian, don't tell the cops, don't tell your security guys. So she, kind of does, she does a lot with what I, compared to what Bella does in Twilight. I keep comparing this book to Twilight. But in the kind of the climactic scenes, or pre-climactic scenes of the first Twilight book, between Bella and the vampire James, it was sort of similar, where, James had Bella's mother and wanted Bella to meet him. This one, Jack, of course, has Anna's sister-in-law, supposedly, and he wants Anna to meet him with money. And so Anna goes to the bank to extract this $5 million, and the bank is like, well, yeah, that's a lot of money, and so they need to call Christian, and Christian takes it as Anna is taking this money out because she's leaving him and she needs money to, start her new life. And he's like, because of all this discussion about a baby, and he's like, are you leaving me? Are you sure you want to do this? And to get Christian off of the trail and to keep him safe, she's like, yes, I'm leaving you. I don't want to be your wife anymore. And, in her head, she's like, no, I will always love you. I want to still be with you. And he's like, just take it all. You don't need to even take $5 million, take it all. And, so she does go to meet Jack, and she does bring a gun with her, and where she immobilizes Jack, I think she shoots him in the knee, and but he roughs her up a little, where he like slaps her and punches her, and Christian ends up coming along with his bodyguards, Taylor and Sawyer. And so, and that's kind of where, like, Anna loses consciousness or faints, and which is also similar to what Bella did, where she is not aware of what really happened at the time. And the next time that you hear from Anna, she's in a hospital bed, and she's going in and out of consciousness, so she's just hearing bits and pieces of different conversations, so where you kind of know what happened, and but she's out of it, so she is not fully aware of what happened with Jack and with Mia and things like that. And so what happened was that Jack actually did have Mia held prisoner, but he Christian and his bodyguards were able to get Jack arrested and save Mia, and rush Anna to the hospital. And Anna was safe. Mia was safe. Nothing happened to Anna's baby, and so it all really went really well. And that was when like Christian's family, who always liked Anna, was like, oh my gosh, we love you even more because you saved our daughter, and you have saved our son, and you still really love our son and want to be with him. And that's where Christian is like, okay, you really love me, you really proven yourself to me. I I love you too, and I want to have this baby with you. Um, and so that's kind of where the book ends. Um, in a way, I mean, there's a couple other things that I want you to read about, so I won't go into this with the review. But this basically what happens, and but one of the things is happening is because it's the end of the series, I guess there's an epilogue. And so where I guess the main story takes place in like 2012. And then they jump to 2014 where Anna and Christian had their baby. I can't remember what the baby's. It was a boy. I can't remember what its name is, and that's gonna bug me. But Anna is pregnant again, and she either they know it's a girl or she has a feeling it's a girl, and then like it kind of happens with what happens with other characters in the story. Like Anna's friend Kate and Christian's brother Elliot get married, and Christian's bodyguard Taylor and their cook Mrs. Jones gets married. That's kind of cute. And then it kind of ends there in that segment, and then there's another small part in the book where you kind of start the trilogy over again, but you started in Christian's perspective. If you, again, I hate to bring up Twilight again and Stephenie Meyer, but if you were a fan of Stephenie Meyer and were aware that after the Twilight series or saga was to be written, there was going to be another book called Midnight Sun that was supposed to be Twilight over again, but in Edward's perspective. It never happened, but that's kind of what that's like, where the first time that Christian and Anna meet is replayed, but it's in Christian's perspective, and it's very different, and it's just kind of fun to read. So I'm glad that they stuck that in there. I don't know if that means that she's going to publish 50 Shades of Grey, but in Christian's perspective. I'm not sure yet. But that's it. I enjoyed the books very much. I'm glad that I read them. It was strange because when you think of this series of books, people read them mainly for the erotica part of it and the like S&M part, or the heavily sexual scenes. But in the last book, there's way more of a plot. There isn't a lot of sexual encounters, and even when there is, it's kind of not muted exactly, but you know that they're going to have it, but it's not described. And I thought that was a little odd, but again, that was just what happened in the book. So the next book that I'm going to read is the 6th book in the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. It is called Song of Susanna, and because I like to finish the Dark Tower series. And so that's it, and I bid you all farewell and happy reading.